So if the pump is pumping away from the tank, system pressure must increase. Now conversely, if the pump discharges into the tank location with the piping system, we are telling the pump again that the pump discharge pressure now will be fixed by the tank pressure, and inasmuch as the pump must exert a differential pressure across itself, it will establish a decreased pressure at its pump suction and will operate with decreased pressures throughout the piping system, leading to a great deal of operational difficulty. In some ways, pump location relevant to the compression tank on a closed loop piping system corresponds to open loop pumping practice. If the pump discharges into the compression tank, it's as though we had an extremely long suction line. And because of this, and because of the interrelationships previously described, we can very easily run into cavitational problems and the other problems that would cause operational difficulties. Conversely, if the pump pumps away from the compression tank, we are as though we have a very short suction line to an open loop tank, leading to minimal difficulties and operational characteristics that should be as required. Now, one other point should be covered. We, as you know, illustrate literature for small residential buildings which show the pump pumping on the return line and discharging into the boiler, with the compression tank generally located on the boiler. Now, this is contrary to the statements that we have made so far. On the other hand, there's a very important point, engineering point, that should be discussed. And that has to do with the point that a difference to be a difference has to make a difference. A small residential pump generally creates only about 7 foot of head. This corresponds to about a 2 psi reduction in the piping system, and that 2 psi reduction in pressure in the residential system does not create problems. For engineers, however, designing systems, they should always design their systems in such a way that the pump pumps away from the compression tank junction with the piping system. And this compression tank junction on the larger systems is generally through a roller troll air separator. And that concludes our discussion of pump tank location requirements for a closed loop pumping system.